Ladies and gentlemen, misinformation and disinformation is everywhere. It's the devil, I see, and we have to fight the devil. The Australian government is trying to silence plebeians like you and me into obscurity. We're being gagged, shut down, chucked into the memory hole. As you're probably aware, there was a referendum in Australia a few weeks ago. It was about an Aboriginal voice to Parliament, and it involved a constitutional change to separate Australians by race, giving one race extra rights and privileges. I did a video about it before the referendum. There's a link in the description. But anyway, the referendum happens, it fails to pass, and the vote yes crowd threw a massive tantrum, blaming it all on misinformation and disinformation.
Misinformation and disinformation.
Misinformation.
Disinformation.
Misinformation.
Misinformation and disinformation.
Misinformation.
That was misinformation.
There was misinformation.
The misinformation.
Disinformation.
Misinformation and disinformation.
And misinformation.
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 Misinformation and disinformation.
And misinformation.
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 The single largest misinformation campaign that this country has ever seen.
More after this quick sponsor. Let's talk about Atlas VPN. Developed by top cybersecurity specialists and IT engineers in 2019, Atlas VPN was created to make the internet accessible and secure for everyone. And you can get their special Black Friday deal now for just $1.70 per month, plus 6 months extra with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Protect your privacy and get the many benefits of Atlas at this ridiculously low price. Get this limited offer by clicking the link in the description. Now, you know what I love about Atlas? Is I'm sitting there like, what am I going to watch today? And it's all boring because I've seen all the stuff. So I open up Atlas and go beepity boop America. I go to Roku, which is only available in like America, Canada and the UK for some reason. And bingo bango, I'm watching SEAL Team 6. This is one of the best VPNs on the market. It'll unlock your favourite content from all over the world. Keep your Google searches private. Don't let people track your results. Get real and organic search results. It'll stop ads and malware because it's more than just a VPN. It blocks all the malicious ads and trackers and notifies you when someone's trying to steal your data. You can get super cool deals. I'm talking like real discounts. Look at this. And last but not least, protect unlimited devices. Like I said, you can get Atlas VPN's special Black Friday deal now. A 3-year subscription for just $1.70 a month, plus 6 months extra and a 30-day money-back guarantee. This is a limited offer, so check out the link in the description or the pinned comment. So anyway, there is a point to all of this, and it's to show you how much and how often misinformation and disinformation is used as a scapegoat when people don't get their own way, and the ramifications that could have on the normal person. You see, the Australian Labor government is trying to pass a bill targeting what they call misinformation and disinformation. It's pretty scary, but just to show you some of this scapegoatery, here's leading Vote Yes campaigner Thomas Mayo talking about the effects that misinformation and disinformation had on the referendum.
Thomas, you're always a pretty straight talker. Obviously, for the No campaign to receive 61% of the vote, there must be a number of factors, you'd think. What are your own reflections on the failures on the Yes campaign's side of things? What could have been done differently in your view?
I think, campaigns are never perfect, and the Yes campaign did its best to react to, any shortfalls. I think, we certainly, lost ground in social media earlier. The TikTok obviously isn't just a young person's thing, and that disinformation was just so prevalent. It was very difficult for us to respond to. They had fear-mongering. There's reports, numerous analysis of how they sponsored multiple social media accounts that had contradictory messages, and I think the media really struggled and failed somewhat to expose all of that. Now, there's bigger issues to that. How do you regulate social media? I think that's something that needs to be looked at into the future.
So he actually thinks there were social media accounts sponsored to push misinformation and disinformation, like by stealth. There were a bunch of plants. No, Thomas, it's called people having opinions, and they don't always match yours. I find it pretty funny how none of these people can define misinformation and disinformation when it came to this referendum campaign. You can ask and ask again, but they just constantly fall short. Look at this clip from Parliament, where the opposition leader asks a simple question and then gets berated as some sort of peddler of misinformation.
Can the Minister confirm her advice in her previous answer that the Parliament can override the provisions of the Constitution?
Parliament shall, subject to this Constitution, listen to what I've got to say, subject to this Constitution, have power to make laws with respect to matters relating to the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander voice. And I will ask the Attorney-General who this should have been addressed to conclude the answer.
This question from the Leader of the Opposition shows entirely, on full display, his role as the leader of the misinformation and disinformation campaign that is symptomatic of the No campaign.
Well, that was ridiculous. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, he asked a question. How can asking a question be misinformation or disinformation? Anyway, the reason I bring all this up is because Australia's got a draft bill in the pipeline called the Combating Misinformation and Disinformation Bill, and it is Orwellian. Okay, so here's the definition of misinformation and disinformation. For the purpose of this schedule, dissemination of content using a digital service is misinformation on the digital service if A. The content contains information that is false, misleading or deceptive, and B. The content is not excluded content for misinformation purposes, and C. The content is provided on the digital service to one or more end users in Australia, and D. The provision of the content on the digital service is reasonably likely to cause or contribute to serious harm. And in the case of disinformation, there's an E, which is the person disseminating or causing dissemination of the content intends that the content deceive another person. So what really gets up my goat about that definition is Subclause B. The content is not excluded content for misinformation purposes. So excluded content for misinformation purposes means any of the following. A. Content provided in good faith for the purpose of entertainment, parody or satire. Okay, well who determines what's satire or parody? B. Professional news content. C. Content produced by or for an educational institution accredited by any of the following. The Commonwealth, a state, a territory, or a body recognised by the Commonwealth, etc. D. Content produced by or for an educational institution accredited by a foreign government, etc. E, and this is the one that gets me, content that is authorised by the Commonwealth, a state, a territory or a local government. So by definition, any content that is produced by the government cannot be misinformation or disinformation. They're immune from it. This thing only targets the plebs like you and me. Oh, and let's not forget, professional news content is excluded.
So how likely is it that the virus escaped from that Chinese lab? Well, in short, it's not.
Gee, I wonder what kind of thing could be classed as misinformation.
Hello, edgy internet cartoon bear here. Women don't have penis, men have penis, lol.
Now who's going to oversee these laws if they're passed? Well, that would be ACMA, the ACMA, or the Australian Communications and Media Authority, which is overseen by this lovely set of unelected individuals. Now, according to the draft legislation, these people won't have the power to take down individual posts. No, what they'll do is they'll nominate industry bodies to come up with a series of codes of conduct for social media platforms to abide by. Then if the social media platform doesn't abide by them, they'll be fined a significant amount of money if they want to continue operating in Australia. So effectively what this legislation does is it imposes a vague code of conduct for social media platforms to abide by, which will have the desired effect of that platform getting super duper happy with the ban hammer, lest they risk a significant fine. Because of course the ACMA, or the industry bodies they appoint, can't make a ruling on every single piece of information out there. It's just impossible. So all they can do is scare the shit out of social media platforms, which will in turn have a major chilling effect on free speech in Australia. This is fucking ridiculous. Alright, well I'm gonna leave it there. I'll follow this topic as it progresses. I'm sure I'll have more to say on the matter. Leave any comments down below or at my Twitter account, bear_ing. I'm also on Rumble, BitChute, Locals, all that good stuff. I'll catch you later. Ta-ta.
Recession, session. Give me better times.